Athens is celebrating the completion of a new project helping the city be more sustainable. Good evening, I'm Jack Green.
And I'm Ethan Sargent. Welcome to Newswatch. Today the city opened a new solar field by the city's dog park to keep the lights on, while also saving some money.
Yeah, Ethan, the lot consists of 9 rows of solar panels, but the city says this is only just the beginning. The Athens community gathers to cut the ribbon on a project to help power city buildings.
We're now able to flip the switch and start providing 60% of the energy to the wastewater treatment plant as well as the community center and then our seasonal pool during the summer.
The East Side Solar Project includes 3 new solar array systems and will create 2.1 megawatts of electricity. Athens Mayor Steve Patterson says this showcases how Athens has become a leader in decarbonization.
When you look across other municipalities in the United States, we are within the top 10% that, when it comes to our reduced carbon emissions per capita.
Along with helping the environment, Councilmember Jeff Reisner says the new solar field is helping Athens become more energy independent.
We're becoming more and more decentralized in terms of generating our power across the United States, and that's good. Power fails in Columbus, well, we're okay. We've got ours here.
Mayor Patterson says this is just one step to become more environmentally friendly.
It's kind of like we're now addicted to solar and thinking, okay, where's the next solar going to be deployed in the city of Athens? So we're always looking around to see what we can do.
The project was made possible by using a portion of the Athens carbon fee and partnering with Kokosing Solar to build the panels. The city plans on building more at the Athens Armory and on top of the city's parking garage. Ohio House lawmakers approved a nearly $2 billion funding for regional and local projects. Lawmakers passed the package by a 75-19 vote today. It comes less than 24 hours after the proposal was made public. Of the $2 billion, $300 million is coming from excess money left in the state budget. Local communities across the state will get money from anything from community parks and welcome centers to bridge renovations and even pickleball courts. Soon, this bill will be up for the Senate's consideration. The first round of revised rules on gender-affirming treatments for trans youth in Ohio are now being released. The rules proposed by Governor Mike DeWine are separate from the law banning gender transition treatment for minors and banning trans athletes in girls' sports, which takes effect in April. Only trans minors will be affected by the revised rules on gender transition care. That's from the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. The revised rules on reporting data and on standards for facilities treating gender-related conditions are expected soon. Once final rules are developed and filed, a public hearing will be set.
Dry conditions outside means our region is at risk for forest fires. The National Weather Service issued a warning this morning asking Southeast Ohio residents to avoid burning outside today. Several brush fires have been noted in Wayne National Forest by the service as well. Newswatch forecaster Rachel Grant joins us now. What counties are most at risk and what does this mean for them?
So we have 8 counties at risk right now for them. So tonight really isn't the night to have a bonfire, even though the weather is most favorable to have it tonight. I'd wait until tomorrow night or even Sunday for that matter after Super Bowl Sunday. But right now we're seeing this increased risk of wildfire really affecting most of the southeastern Ohio right now. We're seeing it covered as north as Zanesville all the way down to Ironton. This is caused because we're seeing not a lot of rain coming in our area within the past week. That's allowing our vegetation to be dry. Also seeing lots of wind gusts coming through our area, which is giving our region the opportunity to have lots of wildfires forming rather quickly. But regardless of these warnings, we're not seeing much in our area. We're seeing lots of sunshine for that matter. We're not really seeing any clouds developing, no storms developing. So today we really had lots of sunshine. We really enjoyed this nice and clear day. But as of right now with this clear and nice day, we're also seeing these really warm temperatures across our area. We're seeing Athens 63. We're seeing our friends in Zanesville and Lancaster also 63. It's really starting to feel more like spring and summer rather than winter for this time of year. Right now, though, we're seeing clear temperatures, clear conditions all around with the clear conditions and temperatures of 57 degrees. These warm temperatures are going to continue into tonight. We're also going to see a low of 44 with mostly cloudy conditions. These clouds are going to stay around into tomorrow. We're going to see mostly cloudy conditions with a high of 61 and a low of 51. So we're also going to see these clouds continuing into this weekend, but we're going to see more of that later on in my full weather forecast. For right now, back to Jack.
Thanks, Rachel. A Belpre man is in custody and facing one charge of rape. According to the Washington County Sheriff's Office, deputies learned about a possible sexual assault by 56-year-old Rodney James earlier this month. Deputies say when they interviewed the victim, she told them James was having sexual intercourse with her since she was a teenager. Deputies arrested James yesterday. He is being held in the Washington County Jail on a $500,000 bond. If you are interested in helping out during the March primary election, the Board of Elections is looking to hire poll workers. Responsibilities include setting up polling stations, assisting voters with the voting process, and picking up equipment once the polls close. This opportunity is open to those who are at least 17 years of age, registered to vote, and a resident of the county they want to volunteer in. You can earn between $100 to $50. You can find more information on your county's Board of Elections website.
A new exhibit displaying trends of artwork in the region is open now at the Athens Dairy Barn Arts Center. The exhibit, OH+5 Contemporary Art of Our Region, highlights artists living in Ohio and the 5 bordering states of Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. You can visit the Dairy Barn Arts Center from 12 to 5 Wednesday through Sunday. The entry fee is $10 and the exhibit will continue through March 10th. Coming up, Big Pharma's CEOs are on Capitol Hill today to answer questions on why American medicine prices are so high compared to other countries.
And why spending this Super Bowl weekend might reach a new peak during inflation.
We saw lots of clear conditions for today, but are they going to continue into this weekend? Stay tuned to see my full weather forecast when Newswatch returns.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
I'm gonna get started.
Come on. Watch me. These are your immigrant ancestors. Wow. What's in that? God, sorry. You're alive.
I am!
Gospel music is soul. Amen, brother.
This is amazing.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, when it comes to value, the details make all the difference.
If you look at Luke, that's a double telescoping lightsaber. That's extremely rare, and most people would never even notice it.
One of the most important people of the 20th century, Jackie Robinson. This is considered his rookie card.
Oh, wow.
You have 3 of them.
Don't miss Antiques Roadshow from Old Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Next time on Jackie Robinson.
He had purchased the right to speak his mind many times over.
Robinson comes out swinging.
He was not an angry black man. He was an athlete who wanted to win.
And builds a lasting legacy beyond baseball.
He took on everything that we were afraid to face and succeeded.
Don't miss the conclusion of Jackie Robinson.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
Three CEOs representing Big Pharma are in the hot seat over high drug prices. The heads of Johnson & Johnson, Merck, and Bristol-Myers Squibb defended their reasons while being grilled on Capitol Hill today. Laura Geary has more on why Americans pay more for prescriptions than just about every other country on the planet.
How could drug companies charge us, in some cases, 10 times more than they charge Canadians or people around the world for the same drug? How do they get away with this?
That set the tone for Thursday's Senate committee hearing with CEOs from 3 of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies.
Our first responsibility is to the patients.
We're eager to find solutions to these access and affordability challenges.
Several lawmakers questioned just how eager, pointing to examples like Johnson & Johnson's arthritis drug Stelara. In Canada, the UK, Japan, and France, the list price for a one-year supply is $20,000 or less. In the U.S., same drug, $79,000 a year.
I agree with you that the prices in the U.S. Are generally higher for medicines.
Eliquis by Bristol-Myers Squibb, a leading blood thinner that reduces the risk of stroke, is priced at $7,100 a year in the U.S. In several other countries, it's less than $1,000.
The real difference is that in the U.S., patients get access to therapy, life-saving therapy, years before they do in the countries that you mentioned.
We have priced Eliquis in the U.S., in our estimation, consistent with the value it brings.
These drugs and many others are currently on a list of prices Medicare and drug makers will be negotiating under the Inflation Reduction Act. But one thing was clear at the hearing. The pricing debate will continue on. And for now, many Americans will struggle to afford the medicine they need. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Now back here at home, there are debates bringing down the cost of medical essentials. A bipartisan bill to cap insulin costs is being introduced in the House. The bill is modeled after legislation passed in a nearby state. Ohio would join 25 other states which have found a way to cap costs already. The U.S. Senate may soon be advancing a $95.3 billion foreign aid package. Following their vote today, the senators must approve a timing agreement in order to swiftly pass the legislation. And opposition from key senators is likely to slow down the process. If the bill is eventually passed, it would go to the House. But it's unclear when or if Speaker Mike Johnson would hold a vote on it. The aid will support Ukraine in its fight against Russia, provide security assistance for Israel, and humanitarian aid for civilians in Gaza, the West Bank, and Ukraine.
The U.S. Supreme Court is hearing a high-stakes case on former President Donald Trump's ballot eligibility. The 9 justices are to determine whether to restore Trump on the Colorado primary ballot. This comes after the state Supreme Court removed him in December over the 14th Amendment insurrectionist clause in the United States Constitution. A lawyer representing the Colorado voters argues that a post-Civil War insurrection ban in Section 3 of the 14th Amendment bars Trump from serving as president again. Meanwhile, a lawyer for the former president argues that it doesn't.
Of the United States refers only to appointed officials, and it does not encompass elected individuals such as the president or members of Congress.
Trump's team also argues what took place on January 6th was in fact a riot and not an insurrection. The justices seem poised to rule in favor of keeping the president on the ballot, with several of them signaling concern over the far-reaching implications if they rule in Colorado's favor. For the first time on record, new data shows global warming is breaching a critical limit. According to data from Copernicus, it was 1.52 degrees Celsius hotter on average this year. This marks the first time on record global warming surpassed 1.5 degrees Celsius in a full year. The 2023 average was boosted by January being its hottest on record. Newswatch forecaster Rachel Grant joins us again. So new data says that it's warmer. Does that mean it's going to stay warm this February?
We're going to see some warmer conditions continuing throughout the weekend, but we are going to see those temperatures drop after Super Bowl Sunday. But really, our whole nation is really feeling this major jump in temperatures. We're seeing the eastern part of the United States right now. They're really feeling more in the 50s and 60s right now, really more feeling like spring and summer rather than winter. But as for the western side of the United States, they're more in the 50s and 40s, so they might not be as warm as we're feeling right now, but overall, we're all feeling this major jump in temperatures. Here's our nation right now. We're seeing lots of movement along the middle part of the United States, but as for us, we're seeing lots of clouds forming in the southern part of the United States here. Again, that's not really impacting us since it just developed today. That's going to impact us more for our weekend. But as for today, though, we're not seeing much. We're not really seeing any clouds form, no storms forming. We're just seeing lots and lots of sunshine. So today we really had a nice and clear day. But with this nice and clear day, we're also seeing these jump in temperatures. We're seeing Athens 64, our friends in Zanesville and Lancaster 62, along with our friends in Wilmington 60. We're all just enjoying this nice weather while it's here. As for, again, just a reminder, as our warnings, we're still in this increased risk of wildfires because we did not see any rain within the past week. We're seeing lots of wind continuing tonight until 7 o'clock. So again, tonight's not the night to have a bonfire, or wait until tomorrow or even Sunday for Sunday Super Bowl. But again, just make sure not to do any bonfires for tonight. As for today, though, we're seeing a high of 64 and a low of 44 with mostly cloudy conditions. These clouds are continuing into tonight, though. We're going to see a low of 44 with mostly cloudy conditions. These temperatures and the warm temperatures are staying throughout the weekend, though. We're going to see a high of 61 tomorrow and a low of 51 with mostly cloudy conditions. Here's our map right now. We're going to see this cold front right here developing near Toledo and Detroit. That's not really going to impact us, though, until later on next week. But we're also going to see this rain developing right here near Tennessee. Again, not necessarily impacting us tomorrow or again tomorrow night. We're going to see it develop a little bit more, but that's not really going to hit us until Saturday. Saturday is where we're going to see most of this rain coming throughout Saturday and Saturday night, but that's not going to stick around for Super Bowl Sunday. Just a little recap. We're going to see lots of sunshine tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies with a high of 61. We're also going to see lots of rain for Saturday. A little jump in temperatures, though, but as for Sunday, that's our break from the rain. We're also going to have a drop in temperatures on Sunday. As for the beginning of next week, we're going to see a little bit of rain beginning to start our work week and a little bit drop of temperatures. And then we're going to get a break on Tuesday and Wednesday. Going to see the sun shining just a little bit more. We're going to see a drop in temperatures, and the rain pick up on Thursday. I hope you all have a great weekend. But now back to Jack.
Thanks, Rachel. This Sunday's Super Bowl activities could bring a peak of spending during this period of inflation. After missed opportunities during COVID-19 lockdowns, consumers have not been shy about spending on major entertainment activities. Karen Kaifa crunches the Super Bowl numbers.
Big spending on live experiences missed during COVID lockdowns. It's a concept some economists have dubbed funflation.
It's really an idea that comes from the pandemic. Really, it's a similar concept to revenge spending.
Sunday's Super Bowl in Las Vegas, a prime example. StubHub spokesperson Adam Budelli said as of Thursday, Super Bowl ticket sales on their site had already surpassed last year's game and have come from beyond the home team cities of Kansas City and San Francisco.
Unlike maybe Super Bowls in the 80s or 90s or even 2000s, where it really was about the two fan bases, this Super Bowl, we already have sales from all 50 states and over 16 countries.
As of Thursday, the average ticket sold on StubHub at more than $8,000, and it doesn't stop at tickets. David Tinsley, senior economist at the Bank of America Institute, recently looked at the big boon a sporting event or concert brings to a city's hotels, restaurants, bars, and more, citing a 25% boost in traffic at Phoenix area businesses during last year's Super Bowl. He says with consumer confidence up and a solid labor market, the funflation trend toward big experiences will likely play on through 2024.
You know, there's only so many gadgets you can buy ultimately. And I think the younger generations, millennials, Gen Z, have a real appetite for live experiences. So, you know, I'd be broadly optimistic that the trend can continue this year.
I'm Karen Kaifa reporting.
Coming up in sports, TVC girls basketball action wraps up tonight. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X formerly known as Twitter, and YouTube.
The Black preaching tradition is deeply connected to gospel music. Our singers preach and our preachers sing.
God, we ask that you reinvigorate somebody.
You feel it deep down in your soul. It makes you want to shout. It makes you want to sing.
That's beautiful.
Monday at 9 on WOUB.
We're creating a mixed income community. Being low income shouldn't bar you from experiencing a higher quality of life.
I have grown up in a journalism environment where I was frequently the only woman in the room.
At some point, a row of trees went in.
I feel segregated. They were planted to hide this community.
We live in a virtual reality world. Everybody everywhere knows what's going on. So people are aware that there's a problem here.
I wanted her story told, and I felt good that I was the one that was able to tell it. I know how to do other things to survive.
Rise up and say, you know what? Enough is enough.
So I want to know where it all came from.
On Finding Your Roots, Danielle Brooks
That blew my mind.
and Dionne Warwick.
I come from a singing family.
From bondage to battle.
What do you make of him?
It changes the game for my family.
And freedom gained at a cost.
Did you know you had such deep roots there?
No, it was never, ever mentioned or talked about.
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
Welcome back. I'm Peyton Brooker. In girls basketball tonight, the TVC hockey title race will wrap up with two deciding matchups with Federal Hockey and Waterford. The Lancers tonight travel to Gloucester as they take on the Trimble Tomcats in their final TVC hockey game of the season. Federal Hockey this season have been in a tight race in the TVC conference with the Waterford Wildcats and have a chance to share the conference with a win and some luck on their side. Tip-off for this conference matchup is set for 6:30. And as for the Waterford Wildcats, they will host their final home game of the regular season as they set to take on the Belpre Golden Eagles. The Wildcats have been dominant all season for tonight's game, and for tonight's game, for them it is simple. If Waterford is able to defeat the Golden Eagles, they will win the TVC hockey title outright. This season, the Wildcats have been led by juniors Kendall Surrey and Avery Wagner, as in their victory against Warren, they combined for 34 points. This game is set to tip off tonight in Waterford for the conference on the line. Taking a look at the TVC hockey standings, this title will come down by the outcomes of both Waterford and Federal Hockey's matchups. If the Waterford Wildcats are unable to defeat the Golden Eagles, the Lancers will have a chance to grab a share of the TVC hockey title with a win against Trimble. But as said earlier, if the Waterford is victorious against Belpre, the Wildcats will win the conference title outright, as they would be the only school with one conference loss. And as for the TVC Ohio, the Athens Bulldogs will host their final conference game against Wellston. The Bulldogs tonight celebrate as they have already clinched the TVC Ohio title with a win over Vinton County on Monday. Athens have been on a roll with key players such as Asa Holcomb and Quinn Banks at the helm, with the Bulldogs being a very young squad. Head coach Phil Koska says that he's very happy with this team, but is eager of getting their final conference win against the Golden Rockets.
They've worked their whole offseason to get to this moment. As far as we're concerned, we don't want to over-celebrate because we know we have one more win we want to get.
Looking at the TVC Ohio standings, the Bulldogs have clinched the conference title outright by 2 games. Behind the Bulldogs is the River Valley Raiders, who have had a successful season so far, but would fall short with the title with losses to Athens, Wellston, and Nelsonville York. As for the rest of the standings, Alexander and Nelsonville York are currently sitting at 3rd and 4th with conference records over 500. And finally, yesterday the Bobcats unfortunately fell short to Bowling Green Falcons 69-52. This loss has Ohio only on a 3-game losing streak, with the season coming down to the stretch. As a positive, Bailey Tabling was able to put up 22 points for the Bobcats as she continues to improve. For the Falcons, Erica Porter was able to secure a double-double with 19 points and 13 rebounds and a victory. Ohio returns back to the Conville on Saturday against Texas State at 2 p.m. And it should be a very exciting night for basketball, as it's been really going pretty crazy lately.
I mean, that's what it seems like. I mean, every single story you had for us tonight was about basketball. And I mean, we're getting close to March, so I mean.
Yeah, March Madness is going to be up there, and it's going to be a very exciting time for sports.
I'm thrilled. I can't wait to burn up my bracket. But still ahead, my scientists in England are excited about new developments in clean energy. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Sometimes we have to look that monster right in the face. Show we're not afraid of it anymore.
Love is the best thing we have. It's the only thing we have.
No more secrets. I just want to be right here in this moment with you.
I trust nothing untoward has occurred.
Bright things ahead, darling. Brightness and joy.
Those that underestimate us should do so at their own peril.
And if they do, so bloody what?
Open your eyes.
best episode ever.
Hey, it's your old car here. Remember me? Remember us? You barely even turn me on anymore. It's clear you don't need me, but that's perfectly fine, my friend, because you can choose to give this old car new purpose and donate. Vehicles like me can bring significant funds to public television. So call or donate online. Donating a vehicle is easy, the pickup is free, and your gift is tax deductible.
Woohoo! Tournament time is approaching for the girls, but we still have conference races to sort out. The Athens girls and Vinton County boys are in control of the Ohio, both needing wins to clinch their crowns. In the Hawking, the Waterford girls just need to beat Belpre. For the boys, it's a little more complicated, but it's down to Federal Hawking and Belpre. Episode 4 airs this upcoming Sunday at 11 p.m. and Monday at 6 p.m. And as always, we're reminding you to be heroic. Finally tonight, scientists are one step closer to bringing limitless clean energy to reality. Scientists in England announced they set a nuclear fusion energy record yesterday, which is the same process that powers the sun and other stars. If they succeed, fusion could create huge amounts of energy with tiny inputs of fuel. But they say there are challenges. The technology wouldn't be fully developed before addressing climate change, and the experiment took more energy to carry out than it generated. Now, Jack, we saw solar panels being used here in Athens. We're starting to make our own innovations right here in town.
I mean, they're over in Europe, they're just starting, I guess, to get clean energy. But I mean, I guess it's a bigger deal because it's using science or something. I don't know much about that.
But it's really cool to see how we're here in Athens, we're making our own innovations as well.
Exactly. And it's really awesome. And with those solar panels, you need the sun. So what's the weather looking like? Are these solar panels going to get enough energy?
They won't get enough energy from today and even into tomorrow and Saturday, but that's when the rain's going to come in on Saturday. But as for right now, that increased risk of wildfire warning is ending, but tonight is not the night to have bonfires, so I would hold off on that until tomorrow or even Sunday after Super Bowl Sunday. As for tonight, though, we're going to see a low of 44 with mostly cloudy conditions. So we will also see these clouds tomorrow, as it is supposed to be mostly cloudy conditions continuing with a high of 61 and a low of 51. As for tomorrow, though, we're going to see this cold front developing near Toledo and Detroit. That's not really going to affect us until later next week. We're also going to see the rain developing near Tennessee and Kentucky. Again, not necessarily impacting us until Saturday, but for tomorrow night, though, we're going to see developing it a little bit more, not necessarily impacting us again until Saturday night. That's where we're going to see most of the rain. But as for the rest of the week, we're going to see a little bit of rain coming here and there and lots of sunshine to continue throughout the beginning of next week.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks so much for watching. For Rachel Grant and Peyton Brooker, I'm Ethan Sargent.
And I'm Jack Green. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.
Support comes from Explore Hocking Hills, welcoming guests to the Hocking Hill State Park, providing an antidote to cabin fever with the great outdoors. Multiple cabins and lodges are available for a cozy soft season getaway.